Evening again, and welcome to my channel, Positivity in Motion. This week, we're exploring the law of forgiveness as we touched last week on the law of karmic energy. So let's get in motion. Now, the basic premise of Scovel Shin's writing is that man receives only that which he gives, that in the game of life, everything returns to us as we think. Our imaging faculty and what we believe to be true is our truth, and that is what we will receive. What is forgiveness? Now, forgiveness means different things to different people, but in general, it involves an intentional decision to let go of resentment and anger, keeping in mind that the act that may have hurt or offended us may always be with us, but that we're working towards forgiveness and things that can lessen the grip of that within us, that many times can immobilize us and even affect our health. So, forgiveness is an intentional decision to let go of resentment and anger. Forgiveness involves an intentional decision. We have to decide that this is what we want to do and this is what we're going to work towards. And I think that that is one of the most important things that we can do. I think it's important because whatever it is that has a grip on us and holding us hostage, when we decide to forgive, employ forgiving, we can then release ourselves through the act of forgiveness by making the intentional, conscious decision to let go of resentment and or anger. Forgiveness does not mean in any way that we relinquish the person or persons from their involvement in any wrongdoings or anything that have occurred that may have offended us and hurt us many times very deeply. Only that we are making an intentional decision to say, it is my choice that I am letting go of this resentment and anger that I have because of your actions, so that I can be free and so that I can fly. Not that I will ever forget, but that I choose to no longer be gripped by the resentment and anger any longer. And some say that we shouldn't forget because when we forget, we don't have a picture in our minds of what transferred to help prevent that from possibly happening again in the future. I don't know about that, but there's so much out there on that. I encourage you to continue to read, to broaden your horizon and your knowledge on many of the things that you find important. I just wanted to throw that out there. Now, we talked last week about karmic law and that everything we do boomerangs back to us. What we hold to be true in our consciousness, this is what we attract. So if we are holding on to anger and resentment, that is what we're going to attract. We don't want to do that. Anger has an ability to even affect our health. We don't want to do that. We have to make a conscious decision to release that. We have to think about what we think, how we act, and we have to try to be positive every day. And remember that it was Christ who brought the good news, the gospel, and shared that even on this side of life, that there is a higher law that can override karma, which says, as we give, we shall get back. This law transcends the law of karma, and it is the law of grace or forgiveness. It's the law which frees us from the law of cause and effect, the law of consequences. In that we are under grace and truth and not under karmic law. For we know that in this world there are many, many, many tribulations. The scriptures tell us, though, that Christ himself came to this world and overcame. And we know that in this world, the thoughts tend to be full of anger, resentment, sickness, sorrow, death. However, it is written, Christ overcame the last enemy, which was death. Christ came and suffered just as many of us suffer today, went through a lot, but he overcame. And so can we. It is important that we learn and train and work with our conscious mind to listen to our subconscious mind to help us on this path. And remember from earlier screenings, subconscious mind is simply power without direction, but it carries out the orders of our mind, of our thinking, our imaging faculty with precision. That is why it's so important that we have to be mindful of what we think, say, and do, because nothing slips past the subconscious. So when we're thinking about forgiveness, we're not talking about relinquishing the person who may have done wrong. I'm talking about relinquishing ourselves from harboring the burden of resentment or anger so we can fly. Scovel-Shin focused more in this particular chapter on karma, but I was glad that she ended on forgiveness because that is part of karmic law. And it says that as we give, we shall receive. If a man gives hate, he will receive hate. If he gives love, he will receive love. Now, this does not mean that everyone that we come into contact with is going to love, respect, and appreciate us. But it does, in my opinion, register in the universe with God, the divine, infinite intelligence, whoever it is that you look to for your support, that entity will continue to bless you on your path for stepping out to release yourself from the resentment and anger, raising your vibration to a higher level so that you can receive positivity. Now, this is not going to happen overnight, but with time and practice, you can change your vibration, working to be better in your life and on this life journey. If you find that you have time daily, I encourage you again to practice your daily meditations. Start saying your affirmations, say them out loud so you can say them verbally as well as hear them. Find time to do that every day. And as time goes on, you'll find that you have an easier time at releasing and being more forgiving. I would like to share a writing with you by Michael LeBoeuf. So here we go. The world is your mirror, and your mind is a magnet. What you perceive in this world is largely a reflection of your own attitudes and beliefs. Life will give you what you attract with your thoughts. Think, act, and talk with enthusiasm, and you will attract positive results. That was Michael LeBoeuf. And I'll say again, what we desire is here for us to have, but it's what we're thinking that might hinder that. So change how we think, act, and talk, raise our vibration so that we can attract positivity. I hope you've enjoyed this weekend, and I hope when you wake up every day this week that you know that you can create something amazing on this day. Something special, specifically directed and designed that only you can do. Have a fantastic week. Positivity in Motion, signing out.